Hey, what's up guys? In this video I'm going to talk about beading versus sheeting waxes or sealants. I came outside today and I noticed all of these hard water spots dried up on our test sections. And it's been one full week since I applied the Turtle Wax Ice Synthetic Paste Polish, the older version, and the RejeX paint sealant onto the car. And last night we definitely got blasted by our sprinkler system and the sun came out and dried up all this water spots onto the car. So on the left side here, the left side fender and the left side hood, I have the Ice Synthetic Paste Polish, which is a beading product. And on the right side, I have the RejeX Paint Sealant, which is more of a sheeting based product. And the paint's super hot right now, but I'm going to rinse everything down and show you guys how they react with water. And the spotting actually looks very comparable on each side, even though I have a beading based product on the left side over here, and on the right side I have a sheeting based product. And as I said in my other videos, beading products are more hydrophobic than sheeting based ones. They're hydrophobic to the point to where water really fights the ability to go flat. And a sheeting based product is less hydrophobic, so when I flood the panel like this, it's got a very good tendency to go completely flat across the entire paint panel. Now, regardless of what type of wax you have, if you've got contamination on the paint, like we've got all these water spots, this is affecting how the water is behaving on both sides of the panel right now. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to finish rinsing it down and then get the soap out and go ahead and clean everything off and see how the water reacts when the paint is completely clean. And what I also want to test is to see just how difficult or easy it is to remove the water spots from the car using just soap, and see if we're going to be able to get them completely out or if we're going to have to move up to a more aggressive method to get the spotting out. But let me get the car soaped down and I'll come back and rinse it off. Alright, we've got the car completely soaped down now, so I'm going to rinse it off. And I want you guys to take note of the difference in the water behavior now that there's no more contaminants on the paint. We've gotten all of the water spots off using just soap. Just a simple quick over with the soap and sponge, and all the water spots were completely removed. I'll show you guys here again. This is the Turtle Wax Synthetic Paste Polish side. And you can see that before it looked like the wax was dead. It looked like there wasn't any sort of repellency going on. But now that it's completely cleaned off, you can see that it's back to being a really tight beading product. So if you're basing your wax or sealant's durability based on water beading, make sure that you come out here and you clean it off really good before you judge it, because any amount of little dust or dirt or pollen or water spots are going to be able to sit on the paint and affect the surface tension, causing the water to go flatter than it normally would. And getting back to beading versus sheeting, you can see over here on the RejeX side that when I flood the paint panel, it does go a lot flatter. And one of the benefits of this sort of water behavior is when you're washing the car and then you're getting ready to dry it off, you can flood the entire paint panel and then wait for the water to fall completely off, so then you're left with just a little bit of beads that you have to come and pick up with the drying towel. But that's a controlled action. I'm the one with the water nozzle flooding the water across the paint panel on purpose in order to prevent all the beading from occurring. As you can see here, these sheeting based products will bead water up, and anytime you have water like this where it's coming out of a hard water source like a sprinkler system or the hose, it's gonna form spotting if you let that dry up onto the panel. Now if we come over here onto the Turtle Wax side, you can see it definitely beads up. You can see a lot of the beads just fall right off the paint because they're just too heavy. The surface tension is high enough for all those beads to fall off. And then I can simulate a flooding action like this and definitely get a lot of water off of the paint. But compared to sheeting products, the flooding action before you dry it is definitely easier with sheeting ones compared to tighter beading products. But as far as sheeting products being able to prevent water spotting more than beading ones, I think that's a misconception. I think you have to have a perfect environment in order for the water to completely flood the paint panel to make sure that you have less water on the sheeting base side compared to the beading base one. And I'm basing that on the level of water spotting we had on each side at the beginning of the video. They were very comparable. And I washed the car yesterday, so I had given the surface that ability to repel water at its maximum before the water from the sprinklers hit it. And that water coming out of your sprinkler system or your hose, these are your two main sources for hard water spotting. And when we bring rain into the mix, rain is a different form of water spotting. It's naturally soft water, so this type of spotting you're going to get is basically the dirt or the dust that's already sitting on the paint. When the rainwater forms those beads, it'll just reposition that dirt or dust into the beading, and so when those beads dry up, you have little lighter spotting. And unless you live in an area where you've got some seriously nasty rain, you're not going to get any sort of damaging sort of spotting caused by rainwater. And rainwater itself too is not a perfect situation to where it'll completely flood the paint panel. You usually end up with a light drizzle, and this will cause beading no matter what type of sheeting or beading based product you have on your car. So this is about preference. You either have a preference for a beading one, or you have a preference for a sheeting based one, or maybe you're indifferent. But as far as choosing which one is better based on the level of water spotting that could occur, in my tests, I'm just not seeing that the sheeting based ones are leaving me with less spotting, even though they have a tendency to form a flatter sheet when I manually go up there to flood the paint panel myself. So I actually have a preference for beading based products. Not that I dislike sheeting ones, I still use a lot of the sheeting based products, but I feel that the beading based ones are the farthest away from having nothing on the paint, the farthest visual representation, so that there is no question that there's still something left on the paint affecting how the water behaves with it. So on my next test, what I'm going to do is I'm going to put the Shine Lock sealant over on the left side, which is going to be the closest to the sprinkler system, and that's the most pronounced sheeting based product that I have in my arsenal with me right now. And I'll just go ahead and see what kind of spotting we get with that product on that side of the paint. But if you guys enjoyed the video and the test, let me know in the comments below, and stay tuned, and I'll have some more water tests and product reviews coming up later.